Good evening, everybody. Finished a great day out in Toronto. It was awesome. What a long day. Got lots more signatures. Starting to get real Torontonians signed on. Awesome. Numbers grow. It's just great. I learned a lot today. Want to let everybody know that next weekend I will be in Ottawa going with a group of Torontonians. 4 of us. We're going to hit the Parliament. I'm going suit and tie, do a live presentation out to all Ontarians right at the Capitol, right at Parliament. My first time at Parliament ever, so that'll be great, and that's going to be quite the presentation. Nobody wants to miss, so watch for that. Next Saturday, I'll make sure it's shot live. I want to break down Toronto now, specifically the legislature in Toronto. Unbelievable, everybody, and I'm going to go through this, post this video. It's a must watch and share, everybody. Incredible. I went through statue by statue, starting with John A. Macdonald at the front of the legislature in Toronto, all the way through all the monuments not defaced. There's a lot you all need to know. It's incredible what is propagated in Toronto to so many millions of people. I got to give live. You can hear my throat. I had a lot of speaking, a lot of interviews, many. I know I shock loaded a lot of people. Obviously, I got a lot of signatures today. A lot of people wanted to corral around me and hear what I had to say. There's other videos out there now. People shot me Facebook Live in Toronto. I don't know how many groups that'll overlap, but I had media interviews as well too. So it was an incredible day, but we're gonna go through, and I know for Albertans you gotta hear this. It's incredible, statue by statue, all the way through behind the Toronto legislature, the history of all the monuments. And I went through it, and Albertans, I hope you're sitting down. You gotta hear this, and it's not an attack on Toronto and Ontarians of Toronto. It explains a lot. We're going to go through that right now as it all became real and incredibly visual and storytelling for me, as I'm going to relate that story to you as I will continue to educate the people of Toronto. Every weekend I can, I'm going to get out to Toronto and speak at these events and try to educate. So it begins with John A. Macdonald. For all of you who don't know, we know that statue is defaced. They have it enshrined in an enclosure now. As you make your way around the legislature, the first #1 monument you hit first is a celebration of the 1885 Northwest Rebellion and a celebration of all the soldiers that were injured or killed in that absolute cross Canada to the Northwest Territory, where they hung Louis Riel and all of the farmers and First Nations tied to the Métis who participated in that rebellion. Alberta farmers, Saskatchewan farmers at the time, pre-Confederation. There it's celebrated in massive monument as some kind of legacy of the greatness of Ottawa and Upper Canada, okay? That's the first major monument after John A. Macdonald. From there, it only gets worse. We get into the absolute Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth, the big celebration of the monarch, dated. We're getting into 1910, all the way to 1914. Massive celebrations of colonialism, major monuments. As we go around the legislature, you hit the Lieutenant Governor's office. The monument to Lieutenant Governor shows the history of the UK, full Crown authority, full authority over all the acts and bills of Canada of the time, all the way up to 1936, and how great it was that our lieutenant governors were from a foreign nation, telling us whether our laws could be passed or not in every province. But absolutely, everybody celebrated in giant monumental at the Ontario legislature. And it only gets worse. As you go around the back to the Queen's Park, the most massive, and you're going to see all the pictures, you're going to see the greatest monuments to all the absolute colonial dictators. They celebrate Edward VII on a massive horse, massive monument of size and caliber I've never seen before in any other province, where they tell you all that King Edward VII, Emperor of India, celebrating full colonialist control over India, is somehow the greatest thing since sliced bread. They go on all the way to 1936, celebrating the full and massive power of the Age of Empires, of the absolute authority, UK, as they were the League of Nations. Celebrated multi-monuments, gets into all the kings. You do not see anything of Elizabeth's father, King George VI. He is not there recorded. The final and last monument stationed in King's Park, or in Queen's Park, at the very end of the Toronto legislature, is one small stone structure celebrating 1948 and the Declaration of Human Rights, but it's not scribed in it, but it absolutely is. Small monument, hardly anything, and that is the absolute end of all recorded history in Toronto, 1948. Meaning the establishment of what was world law of sovereignty, that every UN nation to have absolute sovereignty, is completely stricken from the history books in Toronto's legislature. So anyone who goes to Toronto or has anything to do with Ontario and Toronto only learns of absolute colonialism, absolute crown power, the divinity of the Age of Empires, the League of Nations. Nothing to do with the establishment of absolute nation sovereignty. And we see that reflective. It's reflective of our Constitution. Not one piece demonstrates a movement of history moving from 1948 to now. It is absolutely all missing from the Toronto legislature and Queen's Park. There is zero, nothing to show you the truth of how the world actually operates. This is the disease, unfortunately, of Toronto, and it absolutely explains anything. You notice how I don't talk about any political parties here? The absolute supremacy of crown power colonialism, 100% celebrated and shared to all Torontonians, as in that's what's absolute in Toronto. A complete lie, a farce, a fabrication. They desecrate John A. Macdonald's statue. There's a hell of a lot worse statues there than John A. Macdonald. Like, how about the lieutenant governors with absolute colonial power to reign supreme over all of our premiers up until 1936 under absolute administrative control of the UK? That doesn't exist post 1948. Absolutely ended in 1952. Zero record in Toronto of it. Zero. As in history from 1948 onward is gone, erased, completely not there, never happened. 1948 to 2021. This is the massive education that has to begin in Toronto. I'm going to find out what Ottawa's like. I wonder, what is Quebec City going to be like? What am I going to find at the Quebec legislature? What shocking tales are we going to learn? Man, do I have so much to write for World Academia. I could literally write books, but this Toronto experience is unbelievable. Share. Post this video. I'm tired. I'm going to get home here and have another 25-minute drive here on the 401 to get back. I'm long outside of Toronto now, but it was a powerful, great day. I met great Torontonians. I've learned so much. People are hungry for knowledge out here. What I did in Alberta can be done here. It's a monumental task. I'm up for the challenge. I have the best and the best of the world to help me, and I'm going to deliver. And what was great is right across there is the University of Toronto. I have experts waiting for me there too. I'm going to reach out this week during work, set up an appointment time to go see them, and I'm going to get into the University of Toronto. I'll have to do Ryerson University, and obviously I'm going to have to do a second trip to Ottawa after this weekend in Parliament. I'm going to have to get to the University of Ottawa. I have people I'm going to meet there too. It's just going to get incredible. I'm going to repeat the movement, the level of interest as we did for Alberta independence. We're going to do that here in Ontario. And somebody has to break it. Somebody has to end the cycle. Someone has to give the truth, the knowledge, the real narrative. It's going to be me. Nobody else is up to the task. But I've already met incredible people here. So many who are jumping on board. Volunteers. I got some great Torontonian women here. Unbelievable, ready to volunteer. One woman drove so far just to meet me today. Beautiful, lovely gal. Paula, thank you. And Grace, wow, incredible women. Rob, thank you for a tremendous day. It's happening, Albertans, just as what was established there. I'm going to educate more and more. It's for every Canadian now. We're either going to fix this broken Canada, absolutely strengthen every province with constitutional design, an absolute right guaranteed to you in 1867. Nobody out here knows any of this stuff. But man, did I open up a lot of minds today. And when you see me live in Ottawa, suit and tie on that stage, to all of those, and it's World Freedom Day right across the world, Ottawa is the place to be. I'm going to be there live on mic right there at the Parliament. Maybe I'll meet Randy Hillier. Maybe Derek Sloan will get out too. We'll see. David Menzies, Rebel News. That was fun today. In time, we'll be talking to you. Just watch. It's going to be great. Thanks, everybody. Great, wonderful day. Share, share, share. Bye now.